Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bari Connected, where we share on all kinds of topics related to bariatric surgery. And today, I'm so excited. We have Alicia Briggs here with us. Say hello, Alicia.
Hey Pooh, how are you?
Wonderful. Doing great. And we're so happy to have you. Alicia is a bariatric patient who's nearly 200 pounds. She's a mother of four. She's an online coach. She's certified in the National Academy of Sports Medicine, which is NASM certified, through her own journey of going from bedbound to bodybuilding. I can't wait to hear more about this. She allows her experience of reaching others and just helping increasing potential out there. So she's definitely got your back. She's going to be talking today about a topic that we all can use around the holidays, and that's self-care. And it's the holiday season, and a lot of times people, even myself, I find myself kind of like circling all of these my to-do lists, like what all do I got to do? And also, I know Alicia, we were talking right before the call. She has a family, and sometimes there's some sickness going around and different things like that. And how do we kind of stay on point whenever we have like all of these things going on? And how do we confidently stay on track? So, Alicia, tell us more about this and what we're going to be talking about today, all about yourself. Let's just dive right in.
Well, I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Brenda, for having me. And to everybody that's here, thank you so much for joining. Hey Pooh, how are you? My name is Alicia. I am 35. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. I am a mama for a wife, a certified personal trainer, online coach. My business is called Fat Girls Fit, where we are transforming our lives through weightlifting. And when I started my bariatric journey, I actually had weight loss surgery in the middle of the holiday season. I went through my pre-op diet and surgery right around Christmas. And as you can probably imagine, it was really difficult for me because I've got small kids. And because I'm mom, I am responsible for the holly and the jolly and the bright. And so I'm still making cookies, I'm still doing gingerbread houses, but I had to literally be very careful with what I ate. But I made it through and I had the surgery. And to date, I've lost over 225 pounds. Along my journey, I've done a bodybuilding show. I did do summer shredding. I was the first Black woman in summer shredding history to place before it became Summer Shredding Championships. And I'm so super excited to have that second place accomplishment. And I started my coaching business back in July of 2022. I became a certified personal trainer with NASM, and now I help women become healed, whole, and healthy. Excuse me. I've helped hundreds of women, bariatric and non-bariatric, achieve their goals, pre-op, post-op, non-bariatric, when it comes to health and wellness. And we're going to be talking about very self-care because a lot of times when December rolls around, that calendar says December 1st, everyone kind of goes, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to track. I don't want to count my protein. I'm just going to wait till the new year. And that's the exact opposite of what we should be doing. We should continue to prioritize our health because for us as bariatric patients, we have a malabsorption factor, and there is no off switch. Once you decide to have the surgery, this is a for life gang, and we have to continue to practice these habits that we've set throughout. And whenever I talk to my clients about this, I have two sets of rules that apply. Those who are new to the bariatric journey, meaning those who are pre-op and just post-op about 6 months, and then my 6 monthers to beyond. There's a completely different set of rules because we're establishing different things at that point. And so we can get right into that. We can talk about all the things. Wherever you want to start, Brenda, I'm ready.
No, I think already what you kind of already kind of started mentioning is great. And uh like I'd love to know more about what made you decide to have the determining factors because you have a backstory in that. And I think that's important. There may be somebody out there on this call that needs to hear something, maybe they're pre-op or maybe they're just starting their journey. And like what made your deciding factors, what happened after surgery. Also, I also want to invite people that are on this call to let us know a little bit about yourselves. Let us know where you are, if you're pre-op, if you're post-op, if you're considering bariatric surgery, because usually we'll have a mix of all of those. This is for the live call. If you're on the replay, you're still welcome to comment in our chat boxes because we'll be posting this on our YouTube channel and also our Bari Connected podcast. So, you know, chat away. And as we kind of go forward, we'll share some of those after Alicia shares a little bit about the questions I ask.
Yes, yes. So what got me started? What led me to bariatric surgery? A little bit about my backstory. Well, this is a little emotional, so if I get teary-eyed, it's okay. It's been a journey. So I am a two-time uterine rupture survivor, and most women who experience uterine rupture don't survive the first, or if they survive, unfortunately, their child does not. I'm thankful that not only have I been able to survive twice, but my children are still here with me and, asking for all the things for Christmas. However, with that, I had some really serious complications, um, things that affected me neurology wise and caused me to have seizures. And I would get a script to go get a CT scan and MRIs, and I couldn't fit in the machine. They would try to slide me into that tube, and I would get stuck, and they would say, "Oh, we'll have to come back and try again later." And so the scans were always inconclusive. And so my neurologist back in February of 2020 said, "Ma'am, because of the frequency of these events that are happening to you, and because we can't get a good scan, you need to be bedbound until we can discover exactly what's going on, because if not, then there's a possibility that you can cause yourself further injury, and we can't take that risk right now." So I literally, right before the pandemic, was told to be bedbound. And so that meant being in my room 24/7. I had to have my husband help me to the toilet. I had to have my husband help me dress. And as I sat in that bed, I felt like less of a human. I went from a very active mom, very present mom, to my children coming to my bedside, asking if mommy could play today. Mommy, can we go outside? I remember laying in my bed, looking out the bedroom window and watching my children ride bikes up and down the sidewalk with my husband and feeling like less of a human. And at that time, I was new to YouTube, trying to create content, and my husband would help escort me right into this office. And I would do the work that I would try to do from my desk, and then he would try to escort me back upstairs, and I would pass out from the seizures. And my daughter one day asked if mommy was dying. And that was my moment. That was the light bulb moment, the wake up call that I needed to know that I needed to do something different. I had tried a lot of different diets, and I mean a lot, and I was paid to try them as a mom content creator. Um, and I would lose a little bit and then gain back double. And I've been overweight and obese my entire life. And so I just kind of felt like this was my plight in life, that this was just who I was meant to be. Some people are skinny, some people are overweight. And I thought that just what it was, and I just wasn't going to ever lose the weight. I was also in denial with how much weight I had actually gained, especially while bedbound. My highest weight was 427 pounds. And that was hard because I had promised myself as a child that I would never be over 300. And here I am, 427 pounds. My clothes don't fit. I'm blaming the spandex in the clothing for why they keep rolling like blinds anytime I try to put them on, and having to have my husband help dress me, having to have my husband help me use the bathroom. I felt like less of a human, less of a woman. And so, in a desperate call to my insurance, we had recently upped our policy so that our out-of-pocket cost for MRI tests were less. So we switched from a silver to a gold plan. And I called and said, "Hey, we switched our plan. Do you guys now offer bariatric services?" Because I had been interested and thought, "Oh, wow, this is the fix that I needed for years." but never could get it because it was never a part of our policy. Well, now with the gold plan, the most expensive insurance plan, it was. And so I immediately asked, well, what do I need to do? They said I needed to be connected to the insurance bariatric coordinator, who then told me a long laundry list of items of things that I needed to do, which she told me was a 5-year process. Well, thankfully, every time I went to the doctor, I complained about weight. And so I had record of a weight issue and attempts at losing weight. So that issue, that 5-year process was met. I had my first appointment with a local bariatric surgeon's office here in Maryland in September of 2020. I did their accelerated program only for my insurance to deny it. And so then I had to submit supplementary information to have the weight loss surgery. At that time, I had lost a lot of my mobility. So I was working really hard to try to gain my mobility, but it was really hard. That much weight on your body, it plays a part in your knees, your hips, and your back. And I remember not being able to ambulate very far. So that was difficult. Um, in December of 2020, the hospital in which I had the surgery had a malware attack, and they lost all the patient files, all the information that I submitted, all of the pre-op stuff. Everything was lost. And if you weren't able to resubmit it, then your surgery was being canceled. And a lot of people got discouraged. A very popular doctor ended up leaving that hospital and going to another hospital in a different state. And it was very chaotic. I was able to resubmit that information by hand because I kept copies of everything, and I was able to have the surgery in the most in the most chaotic manner. And I mean, like, everything was paper and pencil, prescriptions were being missed, wrong trays were being sent to the room. It was just a very chaotic fashion. And I remember having the surgery, weighing one thing when I got in the hospital and weighing more when I left. And I was like, I had this surgery. This was supposed to help me lose weight. How do I weigh more? And I said, okay, God, I asked for you to help me do this. Now I really need your help to try to lose this weight. And I really began to try to discover what it is I don't truly understand about food. What is the disconnect? What is it that I'm not understanding? What is it about movement, and why is it so important? And why are all these people talking about exercise, and why is it important for me? And the more I began to deep dive, the more interested I became. During that time, I practiced all the food stages habits that were taught while I was in the bariatric program, and followed those to the T. And I began trying to just see if I can walk, and would walk from my doorstep to the mailbox, and then from the doorstep to the fire hydrant, and then from the doorstep all the way around the block, trying to gain more mobility. And as I lost weight, my mobility increased. And then I got through the food stages and I was in open waters. And I had no idea what I was supposed to do next. Like, what am I supposed to eat? Well, how am I supposed to do it? And I scheduled an appointment with the registered dietitian at the bariatric office, and she leaned in and said, you know what to do, and left me with no answers. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna have to really learn this on my own. And I began this quest of educating myself and learning what I didn't know about nutrition. And my eyes were widened, like, wow, I've spent at that time 32 years of my life not knowing how to feed myself. And I've been feeding my children the exact same way. And it just opened up this love of truly understanding how to fuel my body. What's the purpose of that? The more I got into fitness, the more I began to explore weightlifting. It grew into this love of exercise, and it became my personal time. And while I made a lot of mistakes in the gym, it just became something that I fell in love with. And the more I began to share that on social media, the more people said, you should train. You should be a coach. And I was like, oh, no, no. And then the more I'm like, you know what, maybe I should. So then I began studying, and then passed my NASM certification, which was hard. Failed the first time by 5 points. That hurt. Um, and here I am today. I've been sharing my journey consistently over the past 3 years. My 3-year surgiversary is on December 29th, so I'm super excited about that. I've recently had loose skin removal in June, and yeah. This has just been a journey of a mom literally fighting for her life back and hoping to encourage other people in the process.
Ah, I love your story. I love it. I love it. I'm sorry I didn't have my microphone earlier too close, so hopefully you guys can hear me a little better. Um, I'd love to jump on your Instagram page and show a few of your pictures on there. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Because
that's
people hear
fine.
this and they're probably like, wait, like it's hard to envision. Like you look a certain way now. I mean, you definitely can tell that you've been doing some physical activity, like you look toned and bright and cheery. But I'd love to share those because I think it shows where you came from and like where you're at now. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I love my Instagram. It's a fun place. And it's got lots of pink.
It does. I didn't realize that you were such a Pink fan. I love that. Okay,
Mhm.
I want to make sure I was on the right page here first. I'm gonna go ahead and press share and we'll jump right on there. So here we are on your page, which is Brown Mama Melt. Ah, I have it over my thing. I know it's Brown Mama Melts, but is it the? Let's see. I have too many little things open. Okay, the Brown Mama
The
Melts.
brown mommy melts. Yes,
Yes, okay. So here we are. Let's pop up a couple of pictures. Is that okay?
absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Do you want to say anything about these as we do?
Okay, yeah. So the picture on the my left, far left, was a picture I took on Christmas of 2020. And I wanted to have a starting photo just to understand, just this is my start. It's embarrassing. I felt uncomfortable doing it. My kids were in the hallway like, Mom, what are you doing? But I needed to have a progress photo, a starting place, so something that I can look back on. It's a photo that it means a lot to me, and sometimes you get internet trolls that say really mean things, so we block them. But for me, this is just a showing of where I started, and I refer back to it a lot of days to remind myself of just how far I've come. So that was my starting photo when I was in the 400s. The next photo in the middle was a photo I took right before I had loose skin removal back in June. At this time, I was running 3 miles a day, was being super strict. I was actually practicing a diet program. It's not a diet program, it's a challenge called 75 Hard. And it's very hard. I quit on day 74 because my husband took me to Vegas. So I was like, yeah, we've gotten pretty far. And then the next photo is the immediate results, like days after having the loose skin removal and just sharing, how much skin was taken off of me. I had 8.5 pounds of loose skin removed, and I had a 12 centimeter muscle repair done to my abdomen. Fun fact, my loose skin removal was done to help improve my heart condition. Along my journey, I discovered that I have two heart conditions, and I have POTS, which stands for post orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which means sometimes I pass out still, and I have a condition called AV block type 2 Mobitz 1, which means that my heart doesn't pump properly. And if it gets any worse, I get a pacemaker. And while I have those, I don't allow them to hold me back. I have good days, I have bad days, but I still push forward and I still smile. But yep, those are those pictures. And we
Oh, I
can
love
do
it.
hard things.
Yes, let's do. I like that. We can do hard things. This right here is picture. Tell us about this.
So again, the same photo that we saw before, that before photo. This photo right here is my on-stage photo from summer shredding, where I got second place in women's transformation in June of 2022. I was really proud of myself because of my starting point to where I was. I was a year and 6 months almost into my weight loss journey. This show was difficult for me because anything that could have went wrong did go wrong. That top is too large. I had to do things to it to make it work. Stones were falling off. A month before, I had a mini stroke and lost mobility in the left side of my body and had to give myself physical therapy to be able to still do my routine and show up on stage. And so, me just being there was a celebration of, hey, this happened, but I'm still here and I paid a lot of money to be here. So I'm still going to do my best. And we were able to accomplish quite a bit and inspire a lot of people along the journey. But this was a really proud moment for me because I had saw the competition for summer shredding on YouTube when I was bedbound. And I kind of said in passing, you know, I hope one day I can do this show. If God ever gives me the opportunity, I'm going to try it. And I literally manifested it and I did it. And now I help coach women, for competition as well. I had a client place second herself, and now she's qualified for the championship and will be going back to compete for first place in the championship next year. And so that's super exciting. And I'm hoping to bring more women on board for next year and help them with their on stage journeys. But it's a nice, I love this photo because it's proof that you are not your circumstances and that your starting point is not your ending point, and that if you say you're going to do something, you absolutely can do it. Is it easy? No, but we're worth it. So
And Alicia, I love that. And also, your ending point is not your ending point because even though, like here, you're shown on stage with this, but I mean, look where you came from there, from even this picture here. I mean,
oh yeah.
there's still changes I'm sure you've made and where you're going. I think it just continues. So the journey is never over. We all have to remember that because some people, are 1 week out, some are 1 month out, some are 1 year, some are 10 years. I'm 10 years out. So, your end point is never your end point because it just keeps going.
It does. And I am thinner, I am leaner than I was when I was on stage then. I no longer have the loose skin in my abdomen. I've had my muscles repaired. So I'm continuing to get better. Now the question is, when is Alicia stepping on stage again? And I'm like, but you're right. Our ending point is not the end. And that's super important. I love that you said that because I think a lot of people in the bariatric community, they think that I've got a year to lose this weight. And if I don't do it in a year, then that's it. I can't do anymore and it's over for me. And that's not true. I've lost weight after my first year. I've lost weight after my second year. And it keeps getting better. I keep gaining more muscle. I keep growing more definition. Knowledge of what my body likes and doesn't likes keeps growing. And I am learning me. It's like having a newborn baby and you're learning things with that baby as the baby goes along. So are you in this process. And so, yes, you're absolutely right. And it's a beautiful journey if you allow it to be.
And it looks like Heather's commented too. She says, I also lost 100 pounds and gaining 5 to 10 pounds back is discouraging, although the docs wanted that. I exercise daily, but I'm hard on myself. It's winter and holiday. So, and then she says, you're a warrior. And she said, that's a great point, not an ending point. So, yeah, it's never an ending point. And also, I want to say something that kind of talking about the holidays and what's coming up and how to kind of take care of yourself during that. Our somebody mentioned the other day, one of my friends, she said, our stomachs don't know we're on vacation. And we were on vacation. And it's the same with the holidays. Our stomachs don't know, that we're during the holidays. So like when you overstuff yourself or when you find yourself not necessarily doing the lifestyle things you normally do, it's okay. I mean, it's okay to take a break here and there, but just remember, like your body is your body and it's used to certain things that you're doing, and you may be able to feel when there's been some changes, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
go
Um
ahead.
I want to speak on that for a second, and also the 5 pound weight gain portion too. You're right. Our bodies, our muscles, our livers, our digestive system has no idea what the date is. But a lot of times we tend to throw caution to the wind just because of certain things like a vacation or a holiday. And it's actually counterproductive. And it can kind of sabotage yourself in the goals that you're trying to set, whether it's maintenance, whether it's achieving a weight loss goal, whether it's putting on more muscle, whether it's body recomp, whether it's increasing our endurance, whether it's improving our cardiovascular health or probably reducing our A1C or reducing our numbers when it comes to diabetes. Um, these things, when it comes to our health, those things don't take a holiday. And as a bariatric patient, it's super important. And I love to stress this to my clients. It's super important that we continue to prioritize our health and that we focus on our five. Hold on, I did a brain dump so I wouldn't forget anything. We prioritize our five foundational habits. And those foundational habits that I love to refer to people to remember to do, regardless of where we are or the situation or the holiday, is to remember to take our vitamins. That movement is important, that we must prioritize our sleep. That is one that people constantly forget. That protein is important. And I can go into the weeds about why protein is important. And we absolutely, absolutely need our hydration. And this doesn't just apply to bariatric patients. These are things that everyone should practice. But we, especially because we have the malabsorption factor, and there is no playing catch up on our protein. There is no playing catch up on our vitamins. We need to do these things every day. Does it mean that we cannot enjoy ourselves? No, it doesn't mean that at all, but it means that we must be cognizant of these things. And as you grow through your journey, you get to a point where you're able to recognize things, you are aware of things, and maybe you don't have to be so militant, but it's important, especially while you're in the beginning year or two of your journey, that you are super strict about making sure that you are hitting those five foundational habits so that you can be successful long term. I love to tell people that we can look cute and skinny today and be unhealthy, but we should be worried about our long term health, making sure that we're healthy internally so we can be our best self externally. And the other thing I want to say to Heather about the 5 pound weight gain, I know that that is scary to see the scale go up because we've had a chronic lifetime of the scale going up and being shamed over it. And we're afraid if we see any increase, that means that we're going to get back to our old self. Number one, you're not going to get back to your old self. It took a long time to gain the old weight. You're not going to gain it that fast. Two, your lowest weight might not be your healthiest weight. And here's the thing, we have visceral fat and subcutaneous fat. Visceral fat is the fat that is around our organs, I believe. I hope I'm not mixing that up. Subcutaneous fat is the fat that kind of sits on the thighs and sits on the arms. And you do need a certain amount of fat around your organs. Too little can be a problem, too much could be a problem. And so if they're telling you 5 or 10 pounds more would be an increase would be good, I would definitely make sure that we're listening to our doctors on that because the goal is not to be our thinnest, and unhealthy, but to be our healthiest self so that we can have longevity.
See if there's any questions here. I don't
And
see
then
anything quite yet. So tell us what your thoughts are on self-care during the
self
holidays.
self-care during the holidays. Yes. All right. Okay. So again, a lot of times we as a culture here in the United States, the clock strikes ding and October 31st comes and it's, oh, it's candy. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. And now it's Christmas. And I'm going to throw caution to the wind and I'm not going to worry about this anymore. I want to just enjoy my holiday. But like you said earlier, our stomachs, our muscles, our bones, our livers, our spleen, they don't know what the calendar is. And thus we are really should be being mindful of what we're doing regardless of the date on the calendar. But it can be a little difficult because there's so much temptation during this time of year. Gingerbread houses and cookies and cinnamon rolls and all the different flavored coffees and we have family members over and we're very social beings as humans and food is a celebratory activity instead of something just for nourishment. And so there's a lot of temptation during this time. And so during this time, I want you to remember number one, that your health and well being is important and that you're worth it, and that it's okay to say no. And if they love you, they will respect your no. And there's two sets of rules that I like to apply to my Bari family, especially my boos in my coaching program. A set of rules for my pre-op and then my pre-op to 6 month, and then my 6 month and beyond has a different um, set of rules. And so I'm gonna start with the pre-op people. When we are pre-op, when we are just had surgery, when we are newly post-op, it is important that we follow the instructions given to us by our bariatric surgeon as much as possible, because it's about safety. When we are pre-op, we're preparing to have surgery, and we are trying to reduce body fat and shrink our liver so that the surgery can be done in the most safe way possible. When we are newly post-op and up to 6 months, we are still healing internally. And we don't want to do anything that could cause any kind of injury to ourselves that will lead us to the hospital. Again, the goal is to be healthy and to do things that are going to lead for our long-term health, and not just do things in the spur of the moment. So remember that this is about your safety. Um, don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Meaning, if everybody's sitting around the table eating cookies and it makes you feel uncomfortable, you're allowed to leave the room. You're allowed to go upstairs. You're allowed to excuse yourself. I did that a lot in my journey when I was pre-op, because I went through the pre-op process in the middle of Christmas. I literally started my pre-op diet December 1st. And so I would make the cookies for the kids, and then I would go upstairs and I would enjoy a book, or I would watch a movie, or I would do something else, and I would have water. I would have sugar-free popsicles. I would have things that I knew were allowed to me based on my bariatric surgeon's instructions, so that I was not doing anything that will cause me injury or possibly cause me to have my surgery canceled. Um, you can suggest other activities that aren't food related. A lot of times people don't know, oh yeah, let me suggest something else. Jenga, you can do charades, you can do taboo, you can do karaoke, we can do the guessing game where you put your phone on your forehead. There's a lot of different socially acceptable, fun things that we can do that have nothing to do with eating. You can see the light. We can do a craft together. You can pick up a hobby. You can invite people to sit and watch a movie with you, but suggest those things so you can be part of the activity without having that temptation. But remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation. And during the time of preparing for surgery or shortly after having surgery, the things that we need to make sure we're prioritizing is the protein, right? Because we don't have a lot of space. Or we're preparing for surgery, we need to make sure that we're prioritizing our hydration and that we're getting in steps, meaning we're walking or we're dancing in the living room. So those are the instructions that I give to my pre-ops and my up to 6 month bariatric friends. Now, if you're post-op 6 months and beyond, and you're experiencing the holiday season for the first time, or maybe this is your 15th holiday season, it's important to remember those foundational habits. The foundational habits are the things that we should have picked up in those first 6 months, meaning that we are prioritizing our protein. And we all know how important protein is. Protein breaks down into the amino acids necessary to help repair skeletal muscle, which are the muscles we flex when we're in the gym, or the smooth muscle that makes up our organs. Muscle cells die and they need rejuvenating. When we exercise, we're using those amino acids to help rebuild those muscles. So protein is super important to the body. Your hair is made out of protein. And so, yes, we need to prioritize that. Hydration is good and it's necessary for your cardiovascular health, for your digestion. It's good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It's good for your hormone health. It's super, super important that we're getting enough hydration. How much hydration? Well, some bariatric offices will tell you 64 ounces, and I will not tell you not to. I drink up to a gallon a day. I also drink with a straw, and I pace myself on that. Um, but my goals are different than most, and maybe that's not your goal. A safe rule of habit that people who do not have altered tummies, it is supposed to be 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight. And if that's too much for you, just 64 ounces, you'll be fine with that. Vitamins are super important, and ProCare definitely has the vitamins to help you on your bariatric journey. Make sure that we are getting those vitamins in, taking them, especially if we are RNY, especially if we're VSG, because of that malabsorption factor, because we're not absorbing everything that we take in through our food. The vitamins help supplement what we're not getting there. Make sure that we're getting in movement. Movement doesn't have to be throwing around weights like I do. It can be something like dancing, like an exercise class. It can be something as simple as cleaning our home or just walking around the neighborhood. And that leads me to talking about steps. I love to encourage my clients to get steps because it's a form of NEAT. NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And all that means is the more you burn, the more calories you lose, and you keep yourself in a caloric deficit. So we need to remember those things, but the temptations are still around us. There's still the cookies, there's still the gingerbread houses, there's still the cinnamon rolls, there's still the sugar plums a dancing. Actually, what is a sugar plum? But I digress. There are alternatives for us out here. Because there is such a large portion of our population that are diabetic, there are so many sugar-free alternatives to the things that we loved pre-op that they're available for us post-op. There are sugar-free chocolates. There are sugar-free cookies. There are a plethora of sugar-free candy alternatives. Walmart has a large aisle of it. So does Target. I don't want to drop any brand names because I don't want to get in trouble. But there are lots of different alternatives that you can have in lieu of. So if everyone else is eating candy, you can enjoy a few pieces of our sugar-free alternative. Make sure that you're being aware of the portion size on that nutrition label and that you stay within that. And if you're a person that enjoys tracking or is tracking to reach a goal, make sure that you track those indulgences as well. Now, if you're a person that temptation has gotten to you and you've had the cookie or you've had the cinnamon roll or you ate some of the gingerbread house or you licked some sugar off your finger in the middle of making the gingerbread house, here's the thing, and here's the honest truth. That one indulgence isn't going to make you regain your weight. It's not. And it's going to be okay. I promise you that it is. And it might feel a little bit shocking and jarring, especially when you do it for the first time and there's that guilt and that shame and, oh no, I'm going to be 427 pounds again. You're not. You're absolutely not, because here's the thing, that's just not how calories work. A lot of us are in a caloric deficit because of the surgery and the fact that we're able to consume less. But let me explain to you why, if you've had that indulgence and you hop on the scale the next day, why you might see an increase. 1 gram of carbs is about 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs holds about 4 grams of water. So whenever you have an indulgence and then you hop on the scale the next day, you're seeing an increase of water weight. Happens the same thing when we have too much sodium as well. And so instead of freaking out, instead of, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight and I'm gonna da 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 da, this is what I want you to do. Return back to those 5 foundational habits. I want you to make sure you're getting your steps. I want you to make sure you're getting that water in so that we can pee out the excess water that our body's holding. I want you to get that protein in. I want you to prioritize your rest and your sleep. And guess what? The scale will go back down. Sometimes it takes about a week. Sometimes it takes about a week and a half. But this is not the time to give up. And this is not the time to just throw all caution to the wind. I did it once. I'm going to keep doing it over and over again. And the other thing that I like to say to people is that when you're having that holiday meal with your family members and all the things are there that you used to, I don't want you to feel like I can't have that. Prioritize the protein. There's always a protein on the table. Prioritize that, eat that first, then eat your fiber, and then try to enjoy the sides. But what normally happens is, and I love giving this tip to my clients, is that once you've eaten that protein and you've eaten the fiber in the form of a vegetable, you don't have a lot of space to eat a whole bunch of the other carbs, so you're not going to overindulge. That's just a little tip to keep you accountable when it comes to creating your plate for that holiday meal and just making sure that you are okay. So those are the things that I love to suggest to my friends, bariatric or non-bariatric. during this time of the holiday season, because families traveling today and tomorrow are the biggest travel days in the United States. People are traveling, they're going to family members, but I want you to remember that your health and well-being is important. And no holiday trumps that. And Mima will be okay if we say no to her double Dutch chocolate cake. She will be all right. And you're going to be okay too. But if you must have it, know that you're not going to gain all your weight back immediately. There might be an increase, but it's mostly water weight. It's mostly just a swing. And that when we get back to those foundational habits, everything will level back out again. And I've got more tips for after the holiday as well.
Oh, and there's some comments here too, kind of
Awesome.
in relationship to what you're saying. Um, Heather is talking about, she said, I gave up desserts and almost processed foods and hydrate 90 to 100 ounces. So she's kind of going back to that. She
Awesome.
did mention something earlier that that she was getting in too much protein. So I would just say if you have questions regarding protein, definitely talk to one of your providers or somebody that can figure by weight for you. And also your labs are something that can be super helpful to know where you are with your vitamins and with your proteins. The 1 ounce per pound, that is a great way to kind of know with fluids. I had never heard that before, so I love that. And the exercise motivation, Heather says she's walking 8 miles a day. Wow, along with doing some
Woo!
weights, some
Love
yoga,
it.
step machine. I think we also I want to talk more too about like what you were talking about, the coaching thing here in just a moment. But it looks like we have, let's see, it looks like Teresa says regarding carbs holding water, if you soaked a chicken breast in water, it wouldn't hold extra weight. If you soaked a loaf of bread in water, it certainly would be heavier. Oh, that's interesting to think about. I never
Very good. See? Listen. We experience these things in daily life all the time, but when it comes down to what we eat and taking care of ourselves, for some reason it just kind of goes out the window. So I love the soaked bread because absolutely it does.
Good thing to remember. I had never heard of that before. So Alicia, I am going to be putting your information on how to find you, how to find your TikTok, your Instagram, and your online coaching form. Tell us a little bit about your online coaching because there may be somebody in here that might really benefit for like a little bit more consistency and maybe accountability. And what else can you provide for them?
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. And I love that we're talking about that because it's super helpful, especially after the holiday season, because sometimes we kind of go like we know these things, but then when we're around our family, it's hard to apply them. So after the holiday, we might feel, oh no, I've done these things and I want to start binging. I'm going to do a liquid fast. Don't do that. Return back to those 5 foundational habits so that you can um, get back on track. And I hate saying get back on track, but I'm using that in this instance because we've essentially stopped doing what we know we need to, and we're just reestablishing those habits. And that's something that I love to offer to my clients. I offer accountability calls in which we actually sit down and we talk about our goals and whether we hit them for the week or not. Um, I offer personalized programs because everybody's body does not respond the same to the same stimuli. And so you need something that's individual for you. Because I am a trainer with a wonderful company called Leanest, I offered registered dietitian meal plans. Um, and I also do check ins in which we track your progress. My program offers form videos in which you will go to the gym and never feel uncertain of what you're doing because there is a video to accompany you to show you exactly how to perform the movement. I also offer to my one-on-one clients virtual training in which I don't know why I'm going a brain fart lately. Virtual training
It's
in
a
which
lot of information.
it is virtual training in which you sit your phone, you prop me up in the corner, and I actually make sure that you're performing the exercises correctly. I know a lot of people worry about, am I doing this right? And sometimes it's just a weird foot placement, or maybe we need to take a larger step, or um, feel a little more confident, maybe brace our core. And so I love being able to help my clients just perfect their form so that we can make sure we're getting good mind to muscle connection. In my app, we have in-app tracking. I offer lessons. There are daily lessons that pop up for you for motivation or education. There's lots of educational resources. I'm constantly creating little PDF books specifically and exclusively for my one-on-one clients to help further their education. My goal as a coach, which is not a good thing as a business owner, is to have it so that my clients don't need me anymore and that they can go on and be successful and continue their lifelong journey of being healthy, healed, and whole, because that's my goal. That rhymes.
I love that. So tell us, like, what have you seen with some of the people that you've worked with?
What have I seen? Well,
Mhm.
I'm so one of my clients called me the stall buster. I've helped people in their weight loss journey through bariatric surgery break stalls. I've helped people get approved for weight loss surgery and have successful surgeries. I've had a client go on and do summer shredding and do extremely well, have amazing transformation there. I have lifestyle clients that are non-bariatric that just want education on food and foundation of fitness and have completely transformed their physique. I have a lot of body recomp people, lawyers, doctors, nurses, moms. I have the ability to program you a home workout or a gym workout. And so being able to help women like myself, mommies, those are my heart. Be able to prioritize their fitness and actually incorporate movement while having little ones at home. And I'm talking about small babies. I've had clients who are pregnant and want to continue their fitness journey throughout their pregnancy and have a healthy pregnancy so that they can be their best self post pregnancy. And the women do excellent. We've lost lots of weight. One of my clients recently had 100-pound weight loss, and I'm super excited for her. And she hasn't even had weight loss surgery yet. She's preparing to have weight loss surgery. So that's super exciting.
Wow, that's a lot of different successes. So, um, I think it's true. Heather here says, applying it to yourself sometimes is tricky. So sometimes just having a person there, like to just be supportive and like help you with the things that you might not really be thinking about yourself. Sometimes we don't always think there's things that we just may not know, and having somebody that has a little experience sometimes could be super helpful. And I love too that you're a mom, you're a mom of four, is that right? We
Yes,
mentioned
yes.
earlier. And have experienced what it's like because life happens, guys. You have your own business, you have a family, and around the holidays too. Basically, give us a recap so far on what you've said and the best way to get a hold of you if somebody's wanting to get a hold of you.
So, in conclusion, what I've said to summarize it is that your health and well being is important, irregardless of the date on the calendar, and that I want you guys to prioritize those 5 foundational habits of protein, rest, movement, um, again, referring to my notes, hydration, and vitamins. Vitamins. Um, the ways that you guys can find me, you can find me on Instagram at the Brown Mommy Melts, on TikTok at the Brown Mommy Melts. I have a website, thebrownmommymelts.com. My coaching platform, you can sign up for coaching with me, www.badgirlsfit.com. BAD stands for butterflies and dumbbells because we are transforming our lives through weightlifting. And I like a little wordplay. And I'm really friendly. I love a good dad joke. I love the color pink. And I'm just happy to be a member of this community and just to continue to pour into everyone and share.
Oh, well, so could you type into the chat box the contact information that you just said? I think I have your other details in a previous little post that I had, but the information that you just posted would be super helpful so that people can do that. And we'll put that in the details in our description box if you're listening to the replay. We'll have that information there as well. And so I also want to just say, ProCare Health is our sponsor. So I'm going to kind of mention just here a little bit about ProCare. And we've been kind of doing just a little post um, event, like promo of something. So, okay, thank you. So we have the brownhealth.com. I'm going to copy that, but make sure I have it after event's over and I can put it on the description so that we have that. Pasting it here. We've been doing a little bit of a promo with some of the products that ProCare Health, our sponsor, has been offering. And so I'm gonna mention, pull it up, kind of go to our share button. Okay, guys. So we still have Alicia pulled up here. We're gonna have like a little graphic here. It says looking for an add-on to your bariatric supplement regimen. ProCare Health has started developing a lot of new what we call therapeutics, which are things like magnesium D, omega-3. We have ALA. We have a bunch of different things that can be additional supplements to what you're already taking. I'm gonna actually jump from this point onto the ProCare website. We're gonna just go to www.procarenow.com. And when you get there, I'm going to click onto the home page here. So www.procarenow.com. When you get there, there's a button to the side of that that says products. You can go down all the way to that little button that says therapeutics. And under therapeutics, you'll have a whole list of all different kinds of products that are new. We've developed maybe about half of these over the last year. A lot of these are new. Our Thyroid Plus, our Zinc Citrate. I mentioned the MACD, Thiamine, which is a B1 supplement. Just iron. All of our bariatric multivitamins you can get with or without iron. So if you're wanting a little add-on along with those or extra iron, we have an 18. We have some wound support, probiotics, an ALA formula, the omega-3, like mentioned, biotin for hair, skin, and nails. Some other supplements, including fiber cells. So that could be an add-on, like Alicia was mentioning, if you're wanting to add a little extra fiber into your drinks or into your food as you're eating them over the Thanksgiving meal. Our push supplements are collagen. Gosh, there's a lot here. CoQ10. I'm just kind of browsing. Get on there, check it out. There is actually 34 different products listed under the tab that says therapeutics. While we're here on the ProCare Health website, if you've never tried ProCare, there is a little button that's right underneath the products and all the other tabs at the top. It says interested in a free sample. It's kind of a little blue line tab here at the top. And if you click on that, if you've never tried ProCare, you can click on that and you can actually fill out a very short form and try all kinds of ProCare products for the first time and um, see what works for you. So that's a great way to try them without having to purchase everything right up front, kind of flipping back over to the site. And when another tab that you can check out while you're on there is our Bari Connected. It is a tab that kind of talks about these events. I was on there just just as we were kind of coming onto the page. And what that page has is all of our events for each month. So right now we have our December events. Sometimes it takes a moment for it to populate. Give it a second here. We have all of our events that are listed for right now. We're in the month of December, so our December events, including Alicia, she will be on replay until the end of the month. So if you want to come back and like listen again, sometimes it's easier to catch everything for that. And then our upcoming events are on there as well. So you can register for any of those. Our support group, which we had on December 14th, is still on replay. And then if you want to listen to replays, we actually download everything and have it by the following Tuesday of that next week. So Alicia's episode will be on our podcast, which is called Very Connected, and also on our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, we actually have about 188 videos now. If you subscribe, you get notifications of when a new video is added. So be sure and do that so you know not to miss anything that's kind of coming up. And I also want to say one last little point here. We were talking about Facebook right before this event began. A lot on Instagram. But we did just start a new Facebook page because it's a great way to kind of join in groups. And we wanted a way for people to join Very Connected even after these events. You know, a lot of times we have people asking questions and wondering, and I wanted to create a space for people to be able to come to on upcoming events that are held in the community. And that's going to be a great segue for what we're going to be talking about here in just a minute, Alicia, because I'd love for you to talk about something that you're near and dear to your heart and that you're kind of thinking about planning here. But if you go to this Facebook page, you can add us as a friend, and it's Bari Connect, and then we have a group called Bari Connected. So I'll just briefly just show you what those pages look like. I actually have the ProCare page pulled up here too. So let me just kind of go to Bari Connect is our Facebook page. So that's what that page looks like. It's Bari Connect. And that we have Bari Connected up here because they wouldn't allow me to add the name Bari Connected to both. So we have a page Bari Connect and then a Facebook group that is Bari Connected, which looks like this. Sorry, I have an extra pop-up there. So the page at the top, it has just some pictures, and you can go over upcoming events. At this point, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. And Alicia, I'd love for you to talk about like something that's near and dear to your heart that's going to be coming up.
Absolutely. So, as you guys know, I'm a lover of fitness. I've fallen in love with fitness. Um, I've fallen in love with weightlifting, but also running. And as I began sharing a lot of my running journey, I've had a lot of people in the bariatric community reach out and say that they also enjoy running or physical activity, or it's something that has been on their bucket list or to-do list or a wish list. And so in 2024, we're going to be organizing some physical fitness activities around the United States, starting with one in DC at the end of June. Details will be coming up soon. We're hoping to have ProCare as a sponsor and in partnership with us on this event, but it'll be a physical activity followed up with a fellowship activity in which we are able to celebrate our achievements in prioritizing our health, but also just commune together and get to know one another outside of the internet space. And it's going to be fun. We're starting with one in the DC area at the end of June, and hopefully we'll have more soon, but I will be announcing that. There's going to be an official Instagram page. Not sure if there'll be a Facebook page because I haven't used Facebook since college, but we'll get reintroduced to it. However, there'll be lots of information to help you guys get started and sign up and participate with us. We've already got women signing up for the event, and so I can't wait to officially announce everything soon.
So you guys can find that probably off of your Instagram page. Um, kind of visit the
The
Brown
brown the brown
Mama
mommy melts.
Mommy
Yes.
Melts. And also check out our ProCare page, the Bari Connected pages, because I sure hope to be sharing some more information there as well. So thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you for all you beautiful people out there that have joined us. We love you so much. And be sure to come back. We do. Oh, Amy said she already sent a friend request, so that's great. Thank
Yay.
you, and everybody just have a happy holiday. Enjoy. Be sure to take care of yourself during the holidays. Don't forget about you, and do the things that make your body happy and healthy. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Muchos besos y mucho amor. Bye, guys.
Oh.